Welcome back, guys, to Trails to Azure, where last episode, after sorting out Tio's course setup and reading issue 10 of the Crossbell Times to catch up more on what Lloyd missed in prison, we patrolled St. Ursula Medical College Hospital, finding Inspector Donovan awake and recovering alongside his wife, and then meeting with Ilya, who despite not being able to feel anything from the waist down, was in good spirits and looking towards the future. With a warp spot set up outside the grounds as we return to Wazi's Merkabah, we now return to talk some more before moving on to our next destination. About Defense Force protection, ambulances can't safely travel to or from the hospital. It's not an ideal situation. Between the cryptids on the highway and the CDS restrictions, we're really in a bind here. I wish they'd spare a few more soldiers for escort duty at the very least. The question is this sweep done now? Oh my god, there's a whole nother one. Personally speaking, I support you and your allies over the Defense Force and the President. So good luck, everyone. Please stay safe out there. Nothing else, try not to cause Cecile too much worry, okay? No. I mean, good, but also no. Yeah, everyone has new dialogue. This is a thing. Ah, there we are. Take a look at this cluster of organs illustrated here. Oh, now I get it. You know, it's nice to see you've gotten used to studying during meals, Monsieur. Before you couldn't even fathom eating while reading a book like this. It's all thanks to your tutoring, Laura. It's good to see you're finally getting used to this, Monsieur. Yeah, it's fine. It's all thanks to your tutoring, Flora. Sure thing. We've had some provisions delivered from the city, but it's all processed foods and preservatives. Rations, basically. Good grief, that's not going to help the nutritional value of our hospital meals one bit. I've noticed that the expressions on our visitors' and patients' faces getting gloomier too. If only I could do something to change that. If only we could stock up on fresh vegetables from Armorica Village the way we used to. Sounds like a request. Honestly, I just want to scream Lady Ilya's name to the top of my lungs until she hears it from her room. But I won't. I haven't forgotten this is a hospital, so I'll keep myself in check. Been helping out around here all the while, praying that Lady Ilya recovers faster, even if it's just by one day. The superintendent really knows how to pile on the work, but if it's for Lady Ilya's sake, then I say bring it on. I'm like, is it new dialogue or not? Yes, for some, not for others. People have moved. People have left. Well, you never know what we might find by checking, so it's something we have to do. Thank goodness Portia and Tappy here to help clean the dorms and deliver meals to the patients. Would make future me's life a heck of a lot easier if they decided to just work here permanently. No one's here. Because we've already done a sweep, we will try to knock through this as fast as possible. But dialogue is our key too. We try to see it all. What are you doing, Sarone? The sheets will never dry if you pile them up on top of each other like that. Seriously, you should know better by now. How many years have you been doing this again? Let me think. We've been working together for 1, 2... It was a rhetorical question. Now knock it off and hang these out to dry the way you're supposed to. Isn't made for just the best. Honestly, Sarone, you think I could at least trust her to dry sheets by herself? I can't take my eyes off that girl for even a second, can I? I don't want to advocate for someone to lose their job. But it does make you wonder how she's still not fired. They haven't been able to conduct half as many in-lecture experiments over at the research ward these days. With nothing coming in from Remofaria and travel restrictions keeping them from collecting samples themselves, there's just not enough to go around. At this rate, it's only going to become more and more difficult for the residents to get any proper studying done. Sounds like laziness? Well, it could be. It could be intelligent laziness, couldn't it? Yeah, I guess. Worst repercussions of Crossbell cutting diplomatic ties is that the hospital has lost its partnership with Remofaria. The president does have a large stockpile of medical supplies prepared in case of emergency, but that's hardly a solution. For one thing, prescriptions are supposed to be given according to each individual's condition and constitution. Each patient is unique. It's going to be difficult to handle every case with the narrow selection of pharmaceuticals the president has stored. Frankly, I'm not sure how we should tackle this situation. We're going to have to think of alternatives. So what I said was right. Each patient is unique. It's going to be difficult to handle every case with a narrow selection of pharmaceuticals the president has stored. Yes, you're gonna have to start creating stuff as well, if you can. What else Shizuku has been? Hopefully she's doing alright. Agreed. Kia had been worried about her as well. Both of them should be at Orcus Tower at this point. They might have even managed to meet up. Kia could probably use a friend right now. Don't you worry, Lloyd. With any luck, it won't be long before the SSS is back together. Easier said than done. Got a tough road ahead of us. Yeah, if we want to bring Kia back, we're going to need the combined strength of every one of us. So no matter how hard things get, I won't rest until our team is whole again. I know for a fact that you can do it. Now get out there and find them. I'll be praying to the goddess on your behalf. Thanks, Cecile. Hearing that makes me feel stronger already. She truly does have your blood, Ursula. Okay, that's the full confirmation. We had it, but that's it. Something wrong, Zai? No, not at all. I was simply lost in thought. Are you ready for your rehabilitation session, Ilya? Sure am. Count on you to take good care of me, Nurse News. It'll be my pleasure. I'm always here for my patients. Dr. Salin said she doesn't know whether I'll ever be able to walk again. But as long as I have a more than a 0% chance, that's reason enough to keep up the faith. Besides, it's just like I said, people will do whatever it takes to fight for what matters most to them. That sounds especially convincing coming from you, Ilya. It had better. And don't forget the message I told you to deliver to Risha. Can you truly turn your back in the face of what you hold dear? Of course, we'll pass your words on to her the next chance we get. Right then. Less patients there were than when we first visited. I was visiting Donny the day Mr. Croyce took office as president, and I've been stuck here ever since. The application process to receive passage to and from the city is just too much of a hassle. Besides, it's not often I get a chance to spend some quality time with my hubby like this. You can't blame me for wanting to take it. Sad as it is, I don't think I'm in any condition to rejoin the force right now. Not until I give my body the rest it needs. I'll just have to put my faith in Raymond, Sergei, and the rest until I'm fit to leave. Makes me wonder if they'll get more dialogue the more of these sections we're going to be doing by the look of it, because it looks like we're going to be visiting all four corners, all four sides of Crossbell, and probably picking up someone. Formerly, the hospital does still have the support of President Croyce. That hasn't stopped panic from spreading among all the patients who are still here, however. True enough, even ambulances aren't exempt from the travel restrictions. I haven't been contributing to passing the anxiety on to our patients, being only a resident and all. Under these circumstances, I feel they'd be disquieted no matter how experienced their attending physician was. Regardless, be mindful and considerate of the patients. Try to reassure them however you can. So the anxiety is getting even to you, Dr. Beldine? We're all only human in the end. Regardless, be mindful and considerate. Didn't realize I had it on turbo mode, but talking to NPCs in turbo wasn't a bad thing. What good will complaining do? I could march right up to President's desk and it wouldn't change anything. This is the time to dig deep and endure. That's what we Crossbellans are best at. Well, I've spoken to her directly, but seeing Ilya's commitment toward her recovery has really lifted my spirits. I'll be sure to tell everyone back in the city about how hard Ilya is fighting when I finally get home. That recovery is still very much up in the air. Inspector Donovan's recovery is progressing well, so with any luck he should get discharged soon. Ilya, on the other hand, might never fully recover, no matter how intense her rehabilitation is. I hope she does, though. If anyone can make a grand comeback, it's her. Giving people hope has always been one of her greatest talents. People are only being permitted to leave the city to visit the hospital if they're suffering from severe injury or illness. It bothers me to no end. Such a policy doesn't take into account any ailments that require a professional diagnosis. Not everything can be seen at a quick glance. I shudder to think of how horrible it would be to lose a patient we could have saved had they just been allowed to come in sooner. Yeah. Only patients with serious injuries or illnesses are being allowed to visit the hospital. Have you ever heard of anything so absurd? Do we have President Croyce to thank for that? What in the world is he thinking? It's funny how there's lots of fervor around it. And the independence. And I guess their victories too. There's still a lot of people that are just like, no. I want to go home already. I was lucky enough to have my travel application approved so I can finally return home. Too bad it'll still take a while. I'll need to wait for the defense force to come escort me. Man, how patient do they expect me to be? Very. Especially because we mind tricked them. Earlier we spoke with the defense force about having them deliver prescriptions to our patients who could no longer commute. But there are far too many of them. We couldn't possibly arrange for each and every one. There's only so much we can do. We rarely admit new outpatients now. If only we can send our regulars in the city their prescriptions somehow. If you're wondering about the current flow of information in the state, it's not good. We barely hear anything from the city. We're notified of emergencies every now and again, but with all these restrictions, our response time is going to suffer. These circumstances couldn't be worse. Sadly, Ilia Platier hasn't shown any signs of making a full recovery yet, but I'm sure she'll be fine. St. Ursula employs the best medical professionals on the continent. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but if anyone can help Ilia recover, it's the doctors of St. Ursula. I've been wondering, Gailey. Your wife and son live in Crossbell City. Have you been able to get in contact with them? Not recently, no. I see. How worrisome. If I may make a suggestion, you could always try speaking with the defense force about returning to the city. No. I know my wife and Kien's can look after themselves. It wouldn't be right to leave this hospital now. We never know when a patient in critical condition might roll through our doors. You realize that, don't you, Largo? That's true. Pardon my concern, you've clearly put thought into this. Gailey's so worried about his wife and son that it's affecting his work, so I suggested it'd be better for him to request to go home. But I suppose he is a doctor. This is where he thinks he belongs right now. Perhaps I should have kept my comments to myself. Even Largo is capable of eking out a thoughtful remark every now and then. I'm sure my wife and Kien's are fine, so I won't waste my energy worrying. Amicable. Those two. I somehow managed to find a spare part to replace one that was breaking down. Turned out fine this time, but since it's a specialty component, we can't get a new one unless we order it from Remiferia. What a pickle. In the meantime, we're going to have to be careful with what we have. Some of the equipment here can only be special orders straight from Remiferia. Yes. I'm sure Dr. Getty is worried about his family, but it hasn't slowed him down. He's doing everything he can for St. Ursula. I've been concerned about my family too, but I think I'll follow the doctor's lead and focus on helping Chief Ursuline for now. And our last person to speak to, I think? I'm in the middle of organising the pharmaceuticals that were provided to us by the Defence Force. Sadly, the supplies aren't the best. Whoever picked these out for our patients is a complete amateur. We can get by with this for the time being, but it won't be enough to treat a patient in critical condition. Oops. Paracetamol. Tons of it. They can survive off paracetamol and ibuprofen, right? Sure. Send it all. Okay. Up we go. A double sweep of St. Ursula? Probably a double sweep of other things too? We'll have to find out, won't we? Abbas was just showing me how to use the ship's main terminal. Surprisingly, the Merkabah systems were designed by none other than the Epstein Foundation. Wait, really? There's no mistaking it. I do recall spotting church officials visiting the Foundation's headquarters in the past. Have the two truly been collaborating all this time? Yeah, so naturally it is off the record. This Merkabah is powered by what is known as the Heavenly Chariot, an artifact capable of providing flight-based transport. After the Orbital Revolution, we worked with the Foundation to refurbish it into what you see now, using the Heavenly Chariot as an engine. The Heavenly Chariot? That's the name Zeit muttered the first time you guys showed me the ship on Tangram Hill. May as well know that the church has also assisted with the development of battle ornaments, among other technologies. The orbital arts you all use have their foundations in the church's thaumaturgy. Fascinating. Should go without saying, but be aware that this information is strictly confidential. I trust you won't do anything to compromise that. Of course, we wouldn't dream of it. You have my word as well. The Merkabah's engine is powered by the Heavenly Chariot, an artifact capable of providing flight-based transport. After the Orbital Revolution, we worked with the Epstein Foundation to refurbish it into the ship you see now. Additionally, the church made some minor contributions to the development of battle ornaments, among other technologies. Okay, he didn't actually say anything else. Lloyd, do you have a moment? I wanted to give you this. No, is what I want to shout really loudly. Is this your personal Pom Party account? Indeed. I thought it might provide a fun distraction from our current predicament. Feel free to challenge me at any time. I would be more than happy to obliterate you. Wow, alright, you're on. She was confident in her Pom Pom Party skills, and that's putting it lightly. I'll have to give it all I've got to stand a chance. I had heard the rumors that the church and foundation were collaborating, but now the proof is all around me. In any case, I should be able to use this terminal without any issue. I was even considering syncing it with my ion system to expand our search range for blind spots between the septium veins. May I ask you to teach me everything you can about these systems, Abbas? But of course. The horror has happened now. So the Merkabah is equipped with the same kind of terminal that you had at the SSS building, huh? That means I can send you all support requests, just like I used to. Talk about convenient, Hey, you're right. The terminal in the cabin is pretty much the same. But now that I think about it, where does he even get the data from? I had the same question, so I asked Abbas. He said that sometimes the ship's systems pick up dangerous monsters while searching for gaps in the septium veins' influence. Apparently, it's the function of the Merkabahs to detect anything that might hamper its day-to-day operations. I see. Well, it definitely wouldn't be safe to leave those monsters alone. We'll take care of them if we get the chance. I guess that means I'll be reporting to you with those support requests. It's going to be a real trip down memory lane. Yeah, it'll be just like old times. Almost brings a tear to my eye just thinking about it. I know it might be a bit of a hassle to report from the cabin terminal when I'm right upstairs, but procedure is still important, you know? This way you can get proper credit when we return to the department someday. Yeah, I agree. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to having you as our dependable operator again. Yep, you can count on me. See, the DP we're getting is future credit. We picked up readings on some dangerous monsters during our search for potential landing sites. Now on, I'll forward any leads we find to the terminal downstairs. Just treat them like you would a formal support request. If you defeat one, don't forget to report it at the terminal in the cabin, okay? I'm assuming, I'd like to get... Here's the thing, right? I'd probably like to get some more members first. Because there's experience for beating these things, right? And 6 people versus 4 people getting experience. It is a concern. Bedtime minigame? We're not at bedtime just yet, I guess. That nurse. You mean Cecile? What about her? Nothing in particular. I was merely pondering the peculiar way fate brings people together. It is irrelevant, so pay it no mind. If you say so. That aside, it was fortuitous that you were able to reunite with Tio so quickly. Now we must locate your other comrades. Right, I'm not sure what that was all about. Well, at least we can agree on that last part. All else aside, it was fortuitous that you were able to reunite with Tio so quickly. She seems to be occupied at present, but perhaps I will go pay her a visit later. One area of the ship we asked that you don't enter is the engine room. There's something important in there that can never be shown to outsiders, no matter the circumstances. Could it be that heavenly chariot artifact Abbas mentioned earlier? That reminds me, I actually need to go do some maintenance to the engine room soon. No peeking, got it? I knew it. It's like 15 hamsters. Now that Tia and Fran are aboard, we'll be able to make better use of the Merkabah's capabilities. We can only do so much to look for those landing spots otherwise. Having the 2 of them with us is going to be a big windfall. Maybe Adios herself is the one who guided us back to them so quickly. St. Ursula was the first place we visited, and it led to us reuniting with Tio and Fran. Maybe Adios herself is the one who guided us back to them so quickly. You managed to reunite with some of your friends. That's a great start. Still, it never hurts to be prepared for whatever's next. Stay safe out there, okay? Oh, that's actually more dialogue. Thanks to Father Wazi's thaumaturgy, you should be able to visit the hospital without bumping into the CDF for a while. Just because we're off to a good start, there's no reason to let your guard down. Be extra careful when you're on the ground. I realize now I should actually go to you, because I think, if I'm right in saying, yeah, we got enough. Full slot upgrades for Wazi. 791 EP. Right, what do we get? We got 4. 1 in every route. And they're on longs. A dangerous monster or garage has been sighted on Ursula Road. The zoo has been slighted on Old Armorica. Ver Salamander is on Mines, Man in Path. And West Crossbell Highway has a Quetzalcoatl. Can I report anything to you? Hello, you've reached the CPD. This is Fran speaking. Hi, Lloyd. It seems there's nothing you have to report now. Oh, I need you to talk to you before I engage in hell. Place your bets. How many attempts? I mean, wait a second. It will be first try. Wink. She's faster than me. Stop her. I probably should put that there when I think about it. No, wait a second. I'll put that there. Switch it up a little bit. Green, red? I don't want green, red. Stop that, Tio. I hear you making the nasty noises. Don't worry, I can do that too. Maybe sometimes. Rarely. I kind of... No! Don't attack! I don't know where to go. Okay, I'm still in this. As long as she doesn't attack again. What are you doing, Tio? I hear some noises. Tio, no. Tio. Tio, I'm gonna need you to die. No, Tio, don't defend. I mean, first try. Well, it seems the final boss of Pom Pom Party was a boss. Literally a boss. I am the Pom Party master, obviously. I beat Tio. Could it be? It is. You have defeated all possible opponents in Pom Party, Lloyd. No way, really? That's amazing, Lloyd. I'm so happy for you. Thanks, though I don't know how I did it. Felt like blind luck most of the time. On the contrary, in puzzle games like these, chance alone can only take you so far. Bannings, you have become a true Pom master. Thanks, I think. You should be honored. Take this, if you would. A master quartz for it. This is the Forbidden Master Quartz that was co-developed by the Church and the Epstein Foundation using ancient techniques. It was considered too powerful and dangerous to be used under normal circumstances, but I believe you will be able to use it wisely, Pom Master. Wow, I'm flattered. Thanks, boss. I'll put it to good use. Pom Party Grandmaster. Wow, I can't believe that you've edited out the 4 other tries. There were not 4 other tries. People could see there was 0 editing cuts. It's all good. There was for our boss 4 other tries, but that's our boss. Right, this was a forbidden one, so it's got to be good, right? Ask damage up as HP drops. Ah, so it's your other one. It's also got the amazing stat stick. And one of every element. It's pretty good. Speed is good. Like ADF is good. Defense is good. I mean, it's just better, right? Would that be better on you then? Oh. And what else does that change for you? Well, you got Aqua Mirage now. Diamond Dust is open. Okay, we've lost a tier of that. And we still got Galleon Tower. So we lost a tier of time. But we gained a tier of water. Probably not too bad. Nice. Can't believe I'm the Pom Party master. And a boss is there to be the gifter, the celebration guy. That's interesting. Must have put a lot of stock and time into it. I was gonna say, like, you beat Tio. And you didn't even have to take extra tries. I have done the impossible today. I did not expect I would win, but I have. Right, where are we going again? Armorica Village. Wait, is that... Oh, shoot. We gonna have Pleroma, honey? We managed to disembark well enough, but look at what's happened to their lotus fields. Yeah, they're nothing but pleroma grass now as far as the eye can see. This must be a byproduct of Kia's awakening. Sight, are there any cryptids nearby? I do not sense any for the moment. We should be able to use that warp circle without fear of them attacking. Good to know. Now that we're here, let's start by visiting with Chief Tolta. A wise decision. I see, you've been through quite a whirlwind these past few weeks. I have to say, you really gave me a scare walking in here with that wolf of yours. Sorry about that. My apologies, it was not my intention to frighten you. That's alright. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd have the honor of meeting the Divine Wolf of Legend in person. Thankfully, the Defense Force has largely ignored our village. You'll be safe here. Feel free to stay as long as you need to. We appreciate that, Chief Tolda. Seconded. Thank you for your hospitality. There were many people back at the hospital who were critical of President Croyce's actions. From what I can tell, he hasn't exactly received the warmest reception here either, has he? Well, our village has always had a tenuous connection to the state's more bureaucratic matters. Even after independence was declared, I can't say it stoked much of a response from us. But I will say that our harvests have been down thanks to the appearance of those cryptids. And as I mentioned, the Defense Force seldom ventures here, so you can expect they haven't been much help to us. I'm sorry to hear that. Their negligence is shameful. Those who dwell in the city have always been ignorant of their fellow men in these outlying settlements. However, the degree to which they have taken their dereliction is inexcusable. Indeed. If I may be frank, I have a hard time seeing myself falling in line with the President's ambitions. I said the opinion of our little village is nothing compared to the masses in the city. To tell the truth, we're rather lost in the weeds about all of this. That's understandable. We'll keep an eye out for any cryptids while we're here. Aside from that, have you had any other pressing issues lately? I would hope the situation hasn't stirred up any civil unrest among the villagers. Not at all. Thankfully, things haven't come to that. The village has pulled together to see itself through this crisis as best we can. Having Harold and his family here to help us has been a real goddess send too. You mean Mr. Hayworth? I do recall him mentioning that his family would be coming here to visit. That's right, they arrived just before that barrier went up. Travel restrictions were put into place on the highway soon after, so they've been lodging here ever since. That makes sense. The Hayworths are staying on the second floor of the Ash Tree Inn. You're welcome to pay them a visit if you'd like. Be sure to do that. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's go check up on them. Thankfully, I don't believe President Croyce can be trusted. That said, the opinion of our little village is nothing compared to the masses in the city. The Hayworths at least have been more than willing to lend us a hand. Times are tough, so we have little choice but to come together. City folk and Armoricans alike. It still baffles me that Arios has become the state's Secretary of Defense. The bases have always helped our village, but we've hardly heard from any of them since Crossbell's independence was declared. It's worrisome to say the least. I wonder how they're holding up right now. Is Derek in here? Nope. So the warp thing happened there and over there. That eerie blue grass started blossoming in the lotus field a few weeks ago. It seems to be affecting the growth of the flowers, so I'd really like to weed it all out. No matter how many times you pull it from the ground, it just grows right back. Yes. You want to get rid of the eerie bluegrass? Amorica's literally bottom line is being affected here. I was thinking, he's probably not here still. I guess Gable was using Chief Tolta's toilet, hopefully, in bath. Cryptid laid waste to our fields along the highway. Between the travel restrictions and the meager harvest, business is looking pretty dire for us. Thank the goddess Armorica still has enough to be self-sufficient. Village won't starve at the very least. Now, if only this lockdown had an end in sight. Mrs. Hayworth is quite a culinarian, you know. She told me that she even holds cooking classes at her home back in the city. I wouldn't mind attending myself one day, when all of this mess dies down, that is. Yeah, her son is the same age as Arcus, too. They became such fast friends. Oh my god, he got out of the city. Mr. Hayworth told us that his family is going to be staying at the Ash Tree Inn for a while. Just like when me and my mum moved here. Everyone from Armorica is really nice and welcoming. Mr. Hayworth brought his kid with him a few weeks ago. It's kind of like I have a little brother now too. Gotta watch his back since I'm the older one. It'd be so cool if Mr. Hayworth and his family never left the village. Then I get to play with Colin every day. All Camille can talk about anymore is Colin. His It's not fair. Camille's my brother, not his. Well, no. New boy in town. Harold said he'd negotiate with the defense force to get more supplies. We're self-sufficient when it comes to food, but the village does need a good deal of medicine. Now, if only Jake could pick up those negotiation skills too. Jake needs to learn to negotiate the way a trader like Harold does. On second thought, I shouldn't force it. I don't want to push him too hard now that he's finally showing some progress. I saw Mr. Hayworth negotiating with the defense force the other day. It reminded me of how much I still have to learn. If I'm going to be running the store, I need to be able to do things the way he does. Maybe I'll hit him up for some advice while he's in the village. Ooh. I could tell Gramps wants me to pick up some advice from Mr. Hayworth while he's here. Yeah, it's a good idea for everyone involved. I don't want to leave the city yet, but I just want to talk to the people that are likely here. Oh, you actually got it back then. Thanks to the traffic restrictions on the highway, almost no cars or buses come here anymore. Sure, the Defense Force's armored cars that pass by are cool, but I'm getting tired of seeing them. I'd be on the road right now myself if it weren't for those cryptids. Just how long are these driverless days going to drag on? So I guess they couldn't prove where it came from then. Or they couldn't find the original place, couldn't see it as that much of an illegal deal. Every day my brother Elkin moans and groans about how he can't drive his truck. The situation is depressing enough without him standing around complaining all the time. Geez, he really ought to be grateful that we have a source of fresh food to see us through this mess. Alright, to the inn then. Someone's out here, yeah? Ah, Colin is just too cute. Those big puppy dog eyes and adorable smile is too much. I bet he's going to grow up to be so handsome, just like his father. Competition. Those Defense Force guys schemed me out. They've got this high and mighty you need us vibe whenever they come around the village. Is changing from the CDF to the CDF really that big a deal? I'm wondering if they are being fed something, to be honest with you. The Hayworths are staying in the large room on the second floor. Not to say we're expecting any other visitors, given the state Crossbell's in. It's a rough spot for all of us. Harold has been helping out the village a lot, so the least I can do is offer him and his family a place to stay. Those poor Hayworths. No doubt this isn't the vacation they were looking forward to. I'm glad to have Harold around, but I feel terrible that his family still hasn't been able to go home yet. With those cryptids around, the highway locked down, I can't get any farming done. Wouldn't be so bad if I had a book to read. Book? Well, I don't expect the Defense Force would allow me into the city just for a library visit. My life is feeling as empty as a blank page these days. With no way to get to the library, I'm all out of things to read. Imagine if this went on for years. Going that long without a new book would be my own personal Gehenna. You said the B word. I need it. Given everything that's happened, I'm starting to get worried about my old neighbors in Crossbell. The Hayworths must be worried about the city too, and yet they're still helping out in whatever way they can. I should follow their lead and start doing the same myself. This is no time to stay in my room and worry myself sick. I need to get back out there and do what I can do. Let's meet with the Hayworths. Wow, look at the big doggy! Well, what a surprise. Is that you, Lloyd? Thank goodness you're alright. It's good to see you, Mr. Hayworth. Big doggy. Would that child be referring to me? I consider it an apt description. Who says a divine wolf can't double as a cutesy-wootsy puppy dog? I can't tell you how concerned I was when I first heard you were arrested, Lloyd. And then to find out you had become a fugitive on top of that. It's no small relief to know that you're safe. Sorry for worrying you. Is it just the three of you right now? Where are the other SSS members? We were separated due to unfortunate circumstances. As of yet, we have no leads on the locations of the rest of our team. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. From what we've heard, the three of you were here at the time the barrier went up around the city. We were. We didn't have the slightest clue what was happening that day. Strict travel restrictions have been in place ever since, so we've been unable to return to the city. I don't know what we would have done if not for the hospitality of the villagers. The innkeeper has been gracious enough to let us stay here until the restrictions are lifted. And the children of the village have been very friendly to Colin as well. Yeah, me, Camille and Pulley play together a whole lot. You should come hang out with us next time too, Mr. Doggy.
I shall consider it.
I'd appreciate that. In any case, I've been doing whatever I can to repay the village for its kindness. My area of expertise isn't good for much at the moment, apart from negotiating with the CDF when they visit on patrol. No need to sell yourself short. That task is as important as any given the situation. The villagers are likely much better off with a skilled trader being their point of contact.
I'll take your word for it.
I just remembered I heard something from the Defense Force that might interest you.
What might that be?
They say an unidentified rebel group has been active in the area. Apparently, several Defense Force units have already been attacked.
They have? Really?
All things considered, I'm surprised anyone has the stones to do that. It would be preferable if we knew who they were, but this is welcome information all the same.
Agreed. We should look into this.
Mr. Hayworth, do you have any idea where these rebels were last sighted?
I was told their base of operations is centered upon the ancient battlefield, right off of old Armorica Road.
The CDF has been regularly patrolling the area, but they have yet to discover any other leads.
The ancient battlefield of Armorica, a locus of immeasurable bloodshed, as well as the cult's former stronghold. The ruins there hold numerous hidden passages. They would make an ideal hideout for a band of insurgents. Wandering in there may be dangerous. Let's make sure we're prepared before we leave the village.